You look like a cop.
I'm the cop.
The people who stayed up too late on school nights, hypnotized by red curtains, backwards talk, and coffee that somehow tasted better just because Dale Cooper said so. You remember when TV felt dangerous in the best way? When a show could be funny, terrifying, and tender in the space of a single cut? That was 1990. That was Twin Peaks. A mystery that became a phenomenon, that became a dream you could re-enter 25 years later like you never left. Today we're pouring a damn fine cup and serving up 10 weird and wonderful facts about Twin Peaks you never knew. The kind of stuff you only hear whispered in the Black Lodge, or in VHS fuzzy behind-the-scenes featurettes you found at 1 a.m. on cable. Stick around for number 1 because it involves a prophecy the show basically spoke into the universe and then fulfilled right on schedule. Now before we start, hit like, subscribe, and hype the video so more cherry pie lovers find their way here. Alright, the owls are not what they seem. Let's get into it with number 10. It wasn't called Twin Peaks at first. Welcome to Northwest Passage. Before the town had 2 mountains and a welcome sign people kept trying to steal, the project lived under a colder name, Northwest Passage. Same forest, same fog, same body wrapped in plastic on a rocky shore, but the title felt like a nature documentary, not the American dream bending at the edges.
Good Lord, Laura.
Network notes nudged the change, and Twin Peaks locked the whole thesis in place. Duality. 2 peaks, 2 lives, 2 truths. Innocence and rot. Day and dream. Fun twist, that big wooden Welcome to Twin Peaks sign, built just off a Washington highway. It got swiped, replaced, and swiped again like some cursed souvenir from the gift shop of the uncanny. Of course it did. The town calls you back. Number 9. The pilot had an alternate ending, because this almost wasn't a series. Picture it. Pilot is in the can, but the network could still say no. So David Lynch shoots a full alternate ending that reveals the killer and button the story like a self-contained TV movie for overseas release. It has Bob in a hospital, a culprit identified, and a nightmare logic that still doesn't explain anything in a way your uncle would accept over Sunday dinner. That's the paradox. Even the answer version feels like a dream where the right person is saying the wrong words through the wrong mouth. Lynch gave himself the option to end it there, and then thankfully didn't. Instead, we got a show that invited us to dwell in the question. Number 8. The man from another place didn't just sound backwards. The actor spoke backwards. Yeah, Michael J. Anderson's Red Room delivery wasn't a simple reverse the tape trick. He learned phonetically reversed English so he could perform backward speech forward. Then the footage was flipped, producing that slippy, rubbery sound your brain recognizes as language from somewhere you once lived in a dream. It's why those lines hit like incantations. Your mind gets it and doesn't get it.
I've got good news. That the mule is going to.
The perfect Twin Peaks sensation. Comprehension with a shadow. Let's rock. We did, we still are. Number 7. Killer Bob existed because a crew member got stuck in a shot. All hail the great accident. Set dresser Frank Silva was crouched at the foot of Laura's bed during a take, reflected in a mirror behind a screaming Sarah Palmer. Most shows would cut. Lynch pointed and said, "That's him." Boom, Bob is born. No audition, no plan, just a raw electric wrongness caught on camera that Lynch recognized as the it of the show's evil. Sometimes you don't write the monster. The monster photobombs you and refuses to leave. Number 6. Even the cast didn't know who killed Laura. By design. You remember the summer of Who Killed Laura Palmer? It was everywhere. Magazines, water coolers, your English teacher's sidebar when the lesson ran short. On set, same vibe. Lynch and Mark Frost kept the answers locked down for as long as humanly possible. Actors played guilt without certainty. Scenes carried menace without maps. When the reveal finally came, the reality was that the network was pressuring the show to give the audience closure. Ratings dipped, Lynch bailed for a stretch, and the show wobbled. But that initial hush, letting the mystery breathe, built the most obsessive fandom TV had ever seen.
Fantastic trees have you got growing around here. Big, majestic.
Douglas firs.
Douglas firs.
It wasn't a whodunit. It was a what is it? If this is scratching your nostalgia itch like a Douglas fir branch against a cabin window, smash like, subscribe, and ring the bell. We've got more 80s, 90s deep cuts coming. Cult pilots, lost episodes, and commercials you can still sing. Alright, back to town. Number 5. The Log Lady's Log? It has lore, real lore. Margaret Lanterman is funny until she isn't. Catherine E. Coulson carried that log like a memory. According to the series Bible used in the writer's room, the log lady's husband died in a forest fire, and Margaret believes his spirit inhabits the wood she cradles. What sounds like a quirk becomes grief ritual, divination, and witness. The log speaks, yes, but what it's really doing is remembering.
You can ask it now.
Coulson and Lynch had history going back to Eraserhead. He wrote the role for her. She honored it like a vow. That's why it lands. We laugh, then we listen, then we shiver. My log saw something that night. So did yours, so did mine. Number 4. The Black Lodge came straight from a dream. Lynch's dream. Plenty of directors get inspired by dreams. Lynch transcribes them. The red curtains, that odd industrial hum, the slow motion body grammar, a woman whispering, "Let's rock." These were dream details he woke with and pinned to film without sanding down the weird. The effect isn't a dreamlike scene. It's the logic of dreams. Time oozes, meaning doubles back, yes becomes no and remains yes. It's also why those sequences never feel dated. They're not tricks, they're transmissions. Number 3. Twin Peaks hides doubles everywhere. Once you look, you can't stop seeing them. Laura and Maddie are the obvious mirror. Cooper and his doppelganger, sure, but the production design is in on it. Twin lamps flanking a desk, double doors framing bad news, paired coffee cups cooling on tables where nobody ever finishes a conversation, costumes in echo colors, shots that start wide with 2 balanced shapes and then tilt as the scene curdles.
You're going back to Missoula, Montana!
It's visual grammar for the show's thesis. Every town has 2 towns. Every person has 2 people. You, watching, have 2 viewers inside you. The one who wants answers, and the one who understands the question is the point. Number 2. There were official Twin Peaks coffee ads, only in Japan. Yes, this happened. In 1993, Lynch directed a mini-cycle of commercials for Georgia Coffee, starring actual Twin Peaks cast members playing in a tiny side story about missing coffee. They feel like the show if the dream had a budget for 30 seconds and a product to love. Cooper investigates, someone says something off-kilter, the music smiles with its teeth. They aired in Japan, vanished to rumor, then trickled stateside via taped-over taped VHS relics and early internet forums. Proof that even when the show ended, the world of the show kept bobbing along in the cultural periphery, like a bottle with a note that reads, "Drink me." And at number 1, the show told you it would come back, 25 years before it did. Season 2, Red Room, Lure to Coop. I'll see you again in 25 years. File it under strange lines that broke reality, because in 2017, roughly 25 years after the show went dark, Twin Peaks The Return premiered. Not a reboot, not a remake, a continuation. Same people, same town, same dream, older and somehow newer. Was it planned? Lynch says intuition, not calendar math. Either way, the prophecy hit on the dot, right down to the melancholy of seeing everyone wear their actual years like badges.
Is this your house? Do you own this house or do you rent this house?
Yes, we own this house.
Television fulfilled a promise it whispered to itself. Of course, Twin Peaks would be the one to do it. Twin Peaks taught TV to be eccentric in public. It's a detective story that keeps changing the question, a melodrama that knows it's a melodrama, a comedy that laughs at something you can't see and then makes you laugh too because suddenly you can. It's also a map of America, drawn with coffee stains and lipstick and tree rings. Diners where everyone knows your order, sawmills that hum with secrets, teenagers who act like chorus members in a Greek tragedy choreographed by a jukebox. And somehow, with FBI tapes and donuts arranged like ruins, it gave broadcast TV permission to be art. Not prestige, art. That's why, even if you don't like Lynch, you remember the feeling, the air pressure of the Red Room, the way Laura's smile means 3 things at once, the good ache of Coop saying, "Damn fine coffee," like gratitude could save us. If you felt any of that, go ahead and give this a like, subscribe for more deep dives into the weird corners of 80s, 90s TV, and ring the bell so the algorithm knows to leave a slice of pie at your table next time. Drop your favorite Peaks moment in the comments. Was it Bob in the mirror, the ceiling fan shot that made your spine complain, or the time a lamp meant more than a villain monologue? Alright, you earned an after dinner mint. Let's rewind the list, one last sip at a time. It started as Northwest Passage and became a thesis about 2 of everything. The pilot carried a secret ending in its pocket in case the network blinked. The little man spoke backwards forward. Your ears are right to be confused. Bob was a set dressing mistake turned archetypal nightmare. Nobody knew the killer until the story had to explain itself and broke a little doing it. The log lady's log holds a husband, a history, and half the town. The lodge came from a dream and stayed a dream, unwatered down. The doubles are everywhere once you learn to look. Japan got tiny official Peaks episodes to sell coffee. We're jealous. And Laura told us we'd meet again, and then we did, 25 years older and somehow exactly the same. That's 10 weird facts about Twin Peaks you never knew, or maybe always felt. Because here's the secret. With this show, knowing is a vibe more than a list. You don't solve Twin Peaks, you live with it. You return to the diner, you refill the cup, you watch the fans spin and try not to blink. Thanks for watching. Hit like, subscribe, ring the bell, and tell a friend who still quotes the owls are not what they seem at unacceptable moments. We'll see you again, not in 25 years, but next week. Same booth, same pie. And remember, the coffee is damn fine, but the questions are better.